This is day 16 of learning Japanese using AI. And today we're actually going to use AI a good amount, probably for the entire practice session. And it's going to be a special episode because we have my girlfriend on, my primary native source, Japanese native source, who helps me a lot with Japanese like every day. Super thankful for her. So she's going to help us decide whether or not like ChatGPT's speech is like natural, the way it talks with conversation, the way it explains things, or have like example sentences and stuff like that, basically. So, もしもし。
もしもし。
準備ができた？
はい、できてるよ。いつでも。どうぞ。
Alright, so let's start off with casual speech, because for me personally, casual speech is pretty important. It's like how I talk with my friends that are Japanese and stuff. So that's number one is casual speech. I'm just going to write this down for myself just in case. Another one is polite speech, because we do want to be able to practice, like, let's say we're talking to someone who's older or talking to someone who is at a restaurant or something like that. And then for the third one, we can test out the example sentences and see like whether or not they are good ones. So those are the three that we'll get through. And we'll give each of them 20 minutes. So let's go ahead and start the timer just to have some structure to this thing. All right. So this is a previous chat I had with ChatGPT. I guess we can start a new one and ask it to just be casual. Hi, let's start a new conversation, and can you be casual with your speech?
I'm sorry, I just spotted on your previous conversation that says 他のトピックが欲しい。
Like, wait, where? Oh, right here?
トピックが欲しい。
I know it's
That's
supposed to be
kinda
topic.
Yeah, トピック。トピック。Okay, sorry.
Okay, 続けよう。もちろん。Let's see, what does it say?
もちろん、カジュアル。今日は何してた？
Okay, thanks. If you want to read it, you can. It'll be faster because my reading is so slow.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
はい、今日はあれか？何してた？
今日は動画を作るたくさん昼寝したり、
たくさん昼寝したり
ピアノを少し練習したりしたね。
よだよ。いい一日っぽいね。動画は昼寝も最高だよね。
でも
いい一日っぽいね。あんまり言わないね。Sounds like I know I can tell that it's trying to say that this sounds like a good day. It's perfectly accurate in terms of its grammar, but it's just because of the nuance. I can tell that it's translated from English. Like it sounds like a good day. Yes.
でも日本人は
言わない。
全然言わない。
全然言わない。だって、we don't ask the question, like, how was your day in Japanese? 動画はどんなの作ったの？ Yeah, I think that works. 昼寝も最高だよね。昼寝も最高。I feel like it's a bit unnatural. Like, 昼寝も最高だよね。なんかあんま言わないよね。
もうは問題？
昼寝も最高。I can see why it's using more, but I wouldn't say that. 昼寝もいい。I think 昼寝も最高。Maybe it's because of 最高だよね。
最高だよ。
最高だよ。
あんまり。
So that's a bit hard one to explain why it sounds a bit unnatural.
YouTube の動画作った。
I think ChatGPT is asking about the content. もう YouTube やってるんだ。どんな内容の動画？
どんな just means what kind, right?
Yeah, but I think when people say that, they usually refer to the content of the video.
Yeah, I mean, I assumed that as well, but I didn't really want to talk about the content. I didn't really know how.
Okay. Oh, YouTube やってるんだ。どんな動画の動画？ Yeah, I think that works.
Okay.
It sounds natural. どんな I would say どんな動画？内容 content. People would usually say どんな動画 because it already covers that content part. But it still works. I think people would still write it that way as well. どんな内容の動画 if they want to.
Dang, this is a hard. It's too difficult to explain. So I'm gonna just like pretend that I'm making this video. 日本語
Yeah, it's
作った。
なんかすごいね。動画を作ってる。どんなしてるの？
Tema?
What theme
Theme.
are you practicing on?
Oh, okay. This is very meta. ChatGPT のChatGPT を使う動画。
ChatGPT. Yeah, theme would be the first thing that comes up as a question. So I'm kind of curious what ChatGPT is basically asking.
What do you mean?
I don't
Like,
really.
what theme that ends?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, like I would probably like try to confirm what the meaning of the original question is if I'm asked that question.
Can I ask どういうことか? Does that work?
どういうこと?
どういう
Ka. You don't need ka. Drop ka, yeah.
Like
Do and if you write it どういうこと, it's not you.
Oh, like that?
I mean yeah, people say どういうこと, but it's if you write it, it should be written as e instead of you. どういうこと?
Let's just try that first.
いや、ちょっとわかる。つまり、日本語の練習の動画って、okay. 文法とかどんな内容で作ってるのか。Alright, so it was asking what kind of practice that you do in the video. Like by practicing, what kind of skill you were practicing.
Gotcha. How is the speech? Is it mostly natural and
It is natural. It is natural. It's a bit like it is natural. It just gives too much detail in every answer. But that's a kind of overall tendency of ChatGPT, I'd say.
When you say too much detail, you just mean like it adds words that are unnecessary?
Yeah, it can be omitted, but it is okay to have them. Like, but yeah, like because like Japanese people talk a lot based on that they have shared context behind it. So we drop a lot of information in the conversations. So, for example, here, つまり日本語の練習の動画って文法とか会話の練習とか I had to just find a different way to make it way shorter than this. It's just very long as a general review. つまり日本語の練習の動画って文法と会話の練習とか。なるほど。文法も会話も全部練習してるんだね。いろんなテーマでやるのはすごくいいね。作るの大変じゃない？It could sound a bit unnatural just because it has like 2 consecutive sentences that ends with ne. But overall, it sounds pretty okay.
Okay.
It's just overall long.
Okay. I mean, that's good to know. It's good to know that ChatGPT overall can have natural speech. It's just sometimes it doesn't do contextual stuff as much, I suppose.
Yeah, like if you want to practice, for example, text like conversations that you have with your Japanese friends, I think it's a pretty good tool.
Okay.
Man, this is difficult. たまに大変。今日何してたの？You suddenly changed the topic. そうなんだ。動画作りは大変そうだよね。俺は、okay. 俺は今日ちょっと仕事したり本読んだりしてたよ。特にゆっくりした日だった。Okay, so it was giving me the impression, like so far, that ChatGPT's, or the previous replies that ChatGPT has given us so far, kind of gave me the impression that this person is relatively polite here because he has given me much information, as I said, because of the feature of ChatGPT. And now it suddenly starts referring to itself as ore, which is a bit rough way that only guys use in Japanese. So it kind of gives me a completely like different impression of his character. So I was a bit confused for a second. I thought it would refer himself as like boku, but it says ore.
How about the rest?
今日はちょっと仕事したい感じ。そうなんだ。特にゆっくりした日だった。ゆっくりした日は that's not the way people you say in Japanese. I think it was trying to say it was a very slow day.
Yeah.
I mean, the way it uses tokuni is also wrong. So, yeah, other than the last sentence, overall, yeah, it's okay.
I think I'm a bit too slow in regards to this. What if like participation and interaction with a chatbot makes a whole lot of sense if you want to practice at a certain level when you're at that level? But for me personally, I feel like perhaps just reading a good conversation is a good idea. So let's ask ChatGPT to generate a conversation, a natural conversation about perhaps a topic that is potentially something that can come up often enough. Can you generate a natural conversation for me to read? about two friends talking about how their day went.
Mm-hmm.
Make it full conversation with random events that happened on both sides. I'm being very ambiguous here, but hopefully ChatGPT can generate what I'm talking about. Let's find out.
Oh, okay.
Okay, if you can.
Okay, let me just read it. Or do you want to role play?
I can try. I can try. I'll be A. I mean, I'll read whatever I can, and then if I get
Okay.
stuck, you can help me out, yeah?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay.
Okay, you can start.
What does this say?
もちろん、以下は一日の出来について話している内容です。
Okay, so like a daily conversation
Below is
between friends?
yes, below is a conversation between friends for talking about what happened on the day.
Okay. お元気今日はどうだった？
まあまあかな。朝が遅れたんだよね。
うわ。What's うわ？それはいいね。バスを来ると、I'm stuck. 焦るよね。焦るね。仕事はどうだった？
まあ忙しかったけどなんとか乗り切った。でも午後に急に会議が入って準備する時間なくてバタバタだったよ。急な。
Okay.
うん。
I can't. No. Go ahead.
急な会議は辛いよね。俺もさ、今日面白いことがあってさ、昼休みに同僚とカフェ行ったんだけど、頼んだコーヒーが全部逆に出てきたんだよ。俺の頼んだやつが友達に、友達のが俺に。それめっちゃウケるじゃん。コーヒーの注文結構ややこしくなるよね。俺もよく間違われるよ。で、その後どうしたの？交換して笑って終わったよ。まあ、大したことじゃないけど、ちょっとした笑い話だった。あと、帰り道で雨が急に降ってきてさ、傘持ってなくてびしょびしょになっちゃった。雨か。俺も帰るときパラパラ降ってきたけど、ちょうど傘持ってたからセーフだった。帰り道にコンビニ寄ってアイス買ったんだよね。雨降ってるのにアイス食べたくなってさ。雨の中でアイス？それもなかなか変わってるね。でもアイスはいつでも美味しいからな。だよね。それにしても今日は変な日だったわ。朝からバタバタで最後はアイスで終わるっていう。なんかそういう日ってあるよね。俺も今日はコーヒーの件で笑って雨に濡れて本当に変な一日だった。まあそんな日もあるよね。お互い無事に終わってよかったってことで。そうだね。明日はもうちょっと平和な日だといいな。それな。お疲れ。また明日ね。お疲れ。また明日。
Nice. I would not have been able to do that. That would have taken me forever. I would have to look up so many kanji.
Yeah, that's why I said it would be difficult for you. こんな友達同士の自然な会話になっています。気になる部分があったら教えてくださいね。
Yeah.
Okay.
Dang it. I don't even know simple kanji like these ones. Jeez.
友達同士。
But I learned kanji.
漢字、こんな感じ。I use it. Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I was practicing kanji that I read a lot in our messages.
Okay.
Because I feel like it motivates me more.
So the kanji you practice is basically up to what I use on a daily basis.
Yeah,
okay,
I keep using いつも翻訳を使う。
Yeah, you have
だ
to
か
say
ら
that.
めっちゃ大変だね。
Yeah, which means like I always use translation. Yeah, okay. Shall we?
Well, yeah. So, how was it overall?
Overall, it's kind of natural. Sometimes there were some like kind of weird sentences that people wouldn't say usually. But yeah, I think I've read some Japanese textbooks for my friends who study Japanese. But like their textbooks also like sounded kind of bit unnatural as well. So I've got the same feelings. I guess the level of unnaturalness is not that like bad at all.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, it is good. It is a good like practice tool.
Yeah, good practice material basically. Is there anything in particular that you found like natural? I guess we could break down. I feel like this is said pretty often, right?
Yeah, this is 100% correct. コーヒーが全部逆に出てきたんだよ。I think people can technically say it, but 逆に出てきた I wouldn't get what 逆に means.
Where?
Right after コーヒーが全部。逆に。
Okay.
Yeah, 全部の後。
What was 逆 again? I feel like you taught me that today.
逆はね、 reverse とか。
Oh yeah, yeah.
あ、そうだね。
反
Yeah, I
対
used it today. Wow.
Yeah, I mean I
Okay.
heard it and I
Good
recognized
work,
it.
ChatGPT. Okay, yeah, so it means like reversed. Yeah, basically like the other way around to go, something like that. So like it actually explains what happened. 俺の頼んだやつが友達に、友達のが俺に。That's also a bit like a natural way of saying.
With
Like the way it's cutting the first half of the sentence with ni is a bit unnatural. I think I would say 俺の頼んだやつが友達に渡されて like I would probably add a verb after ni then 友達のが俺に渡された like I wouldn't end the sentence with ni like that so it's a bit unnatural
Okay.
I was like yeah like 逆に出てきた it's just that I would probably double check what the speaker means if someone ever said something like that because yeah I mean it explains it by itself in this conversation, that's fine. So, それめっちゃウケるじゃん。That's natural. コーヒーの注文結構ややこしくなるよね。まあまあまあ、俺もよく間違われるよ。で、その後どうしたの交換して笑って。交換して笑って終わったよ。笑って終わったよ。言わないな。
Like
言わ
they're
ない。
done laughing or something?
Yeah. I think
全然言
people
わ
would
ない。
なんか not because of the expression, but like it's not even I think it's more like because of the situation like it's not really something that people usually laugh about I guess like people will be like confused for a second and that's all like it's not funny enough to laugh so I was like okay I think people would usually say あ交換してもらったよ that's all
Okay.
笑って終わったよ
I'm gonna be
なんか終わ
honest.
ったもん
I'm sort of a little bit slightly lost on what happened.
Oh really okay
In terms of the conversation itself, just because yeah, there's some words I don't know as well as
okay so
really fast reading.
yeah. What's the part that you didn't get?
But it sounded just like the bus was late and then how was work and then it was really busy at work.
Yeah, so the person B, he suddenly got the meeting in the afternoon, so he didn't have much time to prepare for it. So he was kind of running around, rushing. So that's what bata bata means right here.
Here, let me just make it easier.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Shall we read through the English as well?
I can just quickly read it. So here's the English translation. Hey, how's it going? How was your day? It was okay. The bus was late this morning, so I ended up being a little bit late for work. Oh man, that sucks. It's so stressful when the bus is late. How was work? It was busy, but I managed. In the afternoon, there was a sudden meeting and I didn't have time to prepare, so it was kind of chaotic. Last minute meetings are the worst. Something funny happened to me today, though. During lunch, I went to a cafe with a coworker, and they messed up all our coffee orders. I got my friends, and they got mine. That's hilarious. Coffee orders can be tricky sometimes. I've had that happen a lot. So what did you guys do? We just swapped them and laughed it off, no big deal, but it was a little funny moment. And then on the way home, it started suddenly raining, and I didn't have an umbrella, so I got completely soaked. Okay. I mean, that's the context up to the point where we read, so.
Now I see why it's got like waratte watta. It said waratte watta. I think it literally translated laughed it off. Or like it translated from English. That's why it sounded a bit unnatural in Japanese. It kind of makes more sense to me to read the English version.
Okay. So occasionally it's a little slightly unnatural, but most of the time, basically, it's pretty good.
Yes, that's pretty good.
Okay.
まあ大したことじゃないけど、ちょっとした笑い話だ。まあ。I think that's okay.
Okay, we don't need to finish the rest. I feel like that's good enough for casual speech. And then let's just generate a polite one. Let's just say, let's go with a simulation of an experience that I had before.
Okay, which is?
Conversation between two people who met at Kyoto Station Piano, where one was a younger guy and the other was an older lady, and the guy just played piano and she started a conversation with him. Please reflect how the Japanese would be like if it were between someone older and younger.
Do you want to add English translation below Japanese as well for each sentence?
Sure. And can you add an English translation attached to each sentence? Hopefully I was clear.
I think it's clear.
All right. This is literally something
Yeah.
that happened to me, but I wasn't able to speak that much Japanese at the time. This was like early when I arrived in Japan this year, but I wish I was able to speak more. She was able to speak pretty good English, so okay. So I guess we can read it.
Okay.
Do you
Do you want me to read all of them? Or do you want to read your part?
Sure, I could try to read my part. Can you read this first?
Okay. もちろん。以下は京都駅のピアノで出会った若い男の子と年配の女性の会話です。日本語の敬語とカジュアルな表現の使い分けも反映しています。
What was your comment about this?
京都駅のピアノで出会ったピアノ I can tell that it's referring to two people met at where like piano is placed somewhere in the Kyoto station, but I wouldn't say piano de deatta. It's a bit weird. Like piano is there should be a place where like piano is placed in. So it,
京都駅のピアノの場所?
yeah, piano が置かれてる場所 or when you say de, it usually refers to restaurants or those like locations, specific like locations that
Okay.
you can obviously tell that it's a location. So yeah. 若い男の子 also like you said the guy and when it says 男の子 when it said like 男の子 in Japanese
Usually
it usually refers to a
boy,
boy
right?
like
Yeah.
little boy. Yeah, like no, it's wrong. 日本語の敬語とカジュアルな表現の使い分けも反映しています。Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Okay, let's go. こんにちは。あなたのピアノの演奏とても素敵でした。
Why don't we break it down at the same time so we can make it easier? If there's anything unnatural about it, you can mention it. If it's natural, just you don't have to say anything. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. ありがとうございます。難しいです。
嬉しいです。
Oh shit. Sorry. Sometimes the kanji is just so small.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Yeah. I
Hold
totally
on. Let me
understand.
zoom in. I just
Yeah.
honestly
Yeah,
sometimes
like
it just
you
looks
said
like a blur to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
You said it was difficult. Okay, let's move on. 何年くらいピアノを弾いてますか？
高校から始めたので、もう5年ぐらいになります。
そうなんですね。まだ若いのにとても上手ですね。
ありがとうございます。勉強頑張って。I don't even know how to read the kanji for 頑張って。Oh my gosh. Yeah, I have not practiced that one. I know.
What?
I need to practice that one. 頑張って練習してます。
Okay, the next question kind of came up abruptly, but I think it was an okay level if it's an actual conversation. It looks a bit abrupt to me, but that's the sentence itself is natural. 好きな曲は何ですか?
Right. So she would say something like, like, that's good. And then maybe she'll ask that afterwards.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Like I had to say, すごいですね。好きな曲は何ですか?
Yeah. That's what I had in my head. クラシック音楽が好きで、what is this again?
特に especially?
特にショパンの曲が大好きです。
好きな曲は何ですか? ショパンは素晴らしいですね。私も彼の曲が好きです
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, this is like a response I would actually say. I do
exactly.
really like Chopin. I mean, like, a lot of people like Chopin, but
Okay.
for good reason. Let's see. 日本ですか?
本当ですか?
Oh, shit. 本当ですか? My bad. I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm not nervous. I'm just tired. どの曲が一番好きですか?
私は大好きです。特に第2番。
あれは、What is that?
I was kind of sure that you'd be stuck right here, but I was hoping not because it's so.
嬉しい? No.
美しいだよ。
美
Beautiful
しい
だよ。
美しい曲です。
That's my kanji.
Oh, really? Okay.
Anyways, I think that works. はい、機会があれば弾いてみます。
What is this?
はい、機会があれば弾いてみます。Opportunity.
機会。
Chance, opportunity.
機会があれば弾いてみます。
弾いてみます。
弾いてみます。
Okay, here is another like kind of abrupt sentence. 今日は素敵な出会い方です。The sentence itself is fine, but same as before, there should be another like short reply to close the previous topic.
Gotcha. So those are notable and pretty easy to spot. Okay. 私もです。楽しいお話ができました。
I think that's fine, yeah. これからも応援してます。
ありがとうございます。
Yeah, you read it this time. Well done.
It's obvious once you tell me that I'm wrong about a kanji I've seen so many times before.
Yeah.
Okay.
はい。この会話では、敬語を使う年配の女性とカジュアルな表現を使う若い男の子。Wait, what? No, it's wrong. It's already wrong here. Yeah, let me just finish the sentence first. この会話では、敬語を使う年配の女性とカジュアルな表現を使う若い男の子のやりとりを反映させています。日本の文化では、年上の人に対して敬語を使うのが一般的です。もし他に何か必要なことがあれば教えてください。In the first sentence, it says, in this conversation, it's showing the example of the conversation between a lady, an old lady who uses honorific languages, and a young boy who uses casual expressions, which is the wrong part because the guy in the conversation is also replying in a very polite way.
Yeah. Yeah, I was confused about that as
it's
well.
wrong. Yeah, it is wrong.
Yeah.
It's like it says otokonoko in like explanation part, but in the actual conversation part, it does say otoko, which means a guy.
Yeah, this
I
is
don't know why it's messed up there.
this is the it kind of looks like Kimi. Kimi. It's not Kimi, but it looks
Yeah, it's similar. It looks similar. Yeah, you're right.
I was just working on that kanji yesterday.
But kimi, you don't really use kimi.
Really? I mean, I hear an
Unfortunately.
anime. I hear an anime all the
Oh,
time.
only anime or manga. If you say kimi in real life, it's a bit weird. No one says that.
Interesting.
Yeah, if like an elderly or like someone who is older than the other person says kimi to the other person, it kind of gives an impression that the older person is looking down onto the other person.
What about like friends?
Friends, kimi, no, never.
Interesting.
Unless you wanna make yourself sound like you're acting.
Okay.
あ、君は分かってないな、みたいな感じだけど、でも、I have almost never used that. Used Kimi to talk to my friends in my life.
Okay. All right. I mean, this is good news so far that everything has been quite good. I mean, like honestly, this is fulfilling the third thing that I wanted to check anyways, like which is examples. This is like basically generated examples anyways.
Yeah.
So I feel like ChatGPT is actually a better resource than I expected it to be. I just have to use it in the right way.
It is very good overall. Yeah. I missed the chance to say this, but especially for polite conversations in general, ChatGPT should be way better than casual conversations. Should sound natural as well. Because when you learn Japanese from textbooks, you always start with like honorific languages and stuff, like polite conversations, and it follows grammatical rules perfectly most of the times. So it's easier for ChatGPT to find a like dialect translation compared to English. Whereas as it gets more casual in Japanese, people start dropping the details, which is the most difficult part of Japanese. If you're a native speaker of Western languages like English or other European languages, because like we drop subject, we drop a lot of information. It could be way shorter than this without much detail in there.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so if you want to practice like polite conversations with people who are older than you are, ChatGPT would be a pretty good tool.
Yeah. Honestly, this one was actually simple enough to fully follow.
Yes, I totally agree. Yeah, this one is a really good example conversation overall.
All right, awesome. Okay, well, I think that pretty much is it. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much for letting me join. It was fun.
ありがとう。
ありがとう。
はい、終わり。
はいはい。